Well, Kenyan opposition presidential candidate Raila Odinga on Monday answered questions alone on stage after his rival President Uhuru Kenyatta failed to show up for a televised debate between the two. The office of Kenyatta, who is running for a second and final five-year term in office, gave no explanation for his absence. Now, according to polling firm IPSOS, Kenyatta and Odinga are likely to take about 90% of the vote, with 6 independent candidates polling below 1% each. Polls show the gap between Odinga and Kenyatta is closing. Odinga, the flag bearer for the National Super Alliance coalition, says his top priorities, if elected in the August 8th election, will be to lower food prices and rent and tackle youth unemployment. He also addressed the issue of possible violence after the vote.
There will be no violence in Kenya so long as elections are free and fair. And the government has assured us that they're not going to interfere. The IEBC has assured us that the elections are going to be free and fair. So we should not be scared. People should not run away from where they're staying, because by running away, you are actually depriving us of your vote.
On the other side, President Kenyatta answered questions online and pledged to create 6.5 million jobs in the next 5 years if elected, adding that his administration will continue to invest in infrastructure, education and training, small-scale businesses and high-tech economy. Well, now, how significant was the one-man debate? Koigi Wamwere, a former member of parliament and longtime politician, joins me by phone from Nakuru town to discuss the issue. Welcome, Mr. Wamwere.
Thank you very much.
Now, first, do you think, in your personal assessment, it was very wise for the president not to show up for the debate?
No, I think it was very unwise for the president not to show up at the presidential debate. Some people even think that it was arrogant of him not to attend, or even disrespectful to Kenyans who would have liked to hear what his vision is, what his ideas are, and what solutions he may have for the problems that he was not able to solve for the last 4 years. So when he refused to turn up, many people thought that the only, if somebody is not going to rely on his ideas and visions and philosophies, or then one can only resort to the use of a lot of money to buy votes and maybe negative ethnicity, which is a huge problem in this country.
Now,
when it comes to people using it to determine who to vote for and who not to vote for.
Now, Mr. Wamwere, we know that now television is widely viewed by Kenyans, but do these debates really have that kind of impact on the voters as compared perhaps with the other methods that say the president may choose to use direct contact with the people or perhaps even using social media?
I know that there are other means that the president can use to reach the people, like political rallies and ethnic mobilization, or even just having people given money in order to buy their loyalties and votes. But of course, ours is a young democracy. We are trying to move away from such a means of mobilizing for votes. And get people to judging candidates on the basis of what ideas they have, what vision they have for the country, their policies. And most important, people want to be, in rallies, only candidates talk to the people. The people do not talk to candidates. They don't ask them questions. And the platform of a debate was a rare opportunity, even if it is for a few people who are educated and who could who can afford to have televisions. But the television audience is huge in the country.
Yeah.
So ignoring those people, you are ignoring a very important segment of Kenyan voting population, because these are the opinion.
Mr. Wamwere.
I think that it was basically a mistake for anybody to underrate
Yeah. Now,
television audiences.
okay,
I think that he will regret this.
Now, Mr. Wamwere, in the short time left, could you give your assessment of what you think Mr. Odinga might have achieved by being on that platform alone?
I think he impressed a lot of people because he seemed like somebody who cared. Somebody who cared about what people think. He had been asked to appear before the Kenyan audience and explain some things to them, explain to them how he intends to solve the country's problems, even answer questions, difficult questions about things that have been said about him that are not very pleasant. And the fact that he allowed himself that opportunity means that he won quite a few people. In fact, somebody called me in the morning and said that in the matatu they were traveling in, after listening to Raila answer questions, and he had not answered all the questions for some minutes.
Thank you.
People in that matatu were able to say that they would vote for him.
All right. Thank you. We will continue monitoring the developments in Kenya just before the election. Mr. Wamwere, we thank you very much for your insight. Koigi Wamwere is a former member of parliament and a long-time Kenyan politician.